Hey everyone, and welcome to On the Edge of Forever, a horror game where a deadly disease has killed most of Earth, so now it's your job to kill the carrier. Awakening. You awaken on a gigantic cryo ship, a ship transporting the remnants of humanity to the new homeworld. One of those cryopods contains a victim carrying a dreadful sickness. You have been assigned to eliminate them. If you don't, humanity, as we know it, will cease to exist. Wait, what do you mean by the end of humanity? As we speak, a lady is deep in cryo-sleep. She carries a sickness. If we don't kill her, it'll spread once you reach your new home planet. We don't want that happening. You've been assigned to eliminate them. If you don't, humanity, as we know it, will cease to exist. So, why does this need to be me? It doesn't need to be you, specifically. I chose to wake you up by coincidence. Who even are you? I am the public address system, PA system. I don't go by any other names, so please, don't try to give me any. What kind of disease is this? A physical sickness that functions through touch and is spread widely across the globe. It would alter the physical look of its host, transforming them into a living crystal until their body is shattered from strain. It's a terrible disease that I'm attempting to save you all from. You only need to execute the person who possesses it. We're wasting time by discussing. Why are you getting me to do this and not yourself? When she slipped into cryo-sleep, the sickness crystallized on the cryopod and propagated to the ship's mainframe, leaving me no method to kill her. You're my only chance. Yeah, I'm just gonna sleep here. Really? You're making an enormous mistake. Go to sleep. Are you seriously going to decide to just sleep? Even after I explained the stakes at hand, instead of saving humanity, you choose to sleep. The sheets are still warm from when you just woke awake. It takes some time, but you get comfy and close your eyes. But as you finally start to doze into your ever-comfy mattress, you hear slithering. You remove the duvet from your face to see a massive metal claw. It drags you out of bed and onto the cold, icy floor of the cabin. You duck and weave, its coiled body knocking down everything that you own. It's too fast for you to react to. It plunges itself into your chest, piercing your heart. Your body jolts in pain as you feel the cold permeate through your body, pumping along with your blood vessels. There's some Doc Ock's tentacles from Spider-Man. The claw violently extracts itself from your chest, producing terrible noises in process. It then slinks off, releasing its icy hold on your leg. As your heart stops and you die, your eyesight gradually darkens to darkness. I'm sorry, but it had to be done. Awaken. You awaken on a gigantic cryo ship. Okay, it's the same. Head towards the cryo chamber. You head towards the cryo chamber. You enter a tiny hallway with pipes and wires protruding from the walls. Walking to the end of the hallway, you come face to face with a lift. You enter the lift, staring back at the Art Deco inspired hall. Just so you know, pressing H will conceal the discussion box. On the right side of the lift, there is a tiny table with an axe on top. This should come in handy if we want to do what is best for humanity. While the Art Deco visuals. I recreated everything since the captain of the ship desired a piece of home on board and admired the decor. I love this elevator design. Thank you. Your captain adored this design, therefore I made every effort to include it onto the ship. Can I save? No. I guess I'll leave the axe. A bold decision. The lift suddenly jolts higher for a few seconds before thudding, signaling its termination. Leave the elevator. You exit the lift with the axe in hand to find yourself in a vast square chamber with a large window reaching across the rear wall. There are two massive share containers, held back by tiebacks on each side of the room, and on the left and right are cryopods. Your target is in the middle of the room. She appears to have already broken out of her pod. This is not what is supposed to happen. Her lips begin to part. What do you want? I want to talk. Well, let's talk. This is simply postponing the inevitable, and you know what it is, don't you? What's on your mind? How did you get out of your cryopod? Well, I didn't really do it. The door simply opened. Actually, it's happened a few minutes before you showed up. The PA system opened you, didn't it? How did you get the disease? I was a gemologist back on Earth. And I and a bunch of my buddies discovered a massive quantity of crystals in a cave near a waterfall. That day was so hot, we were all sweating like pigs. So we boiled and filtered the water. Regardless of what we did, we could always see a glimmer in the water. We just figured it was the sun or something else. But when we decided to drink, my skin became dry and my body gradually deteriorated. It cracked. Do you know where the ship is headed? According to my memories, it's on its way to the edge of the universe, which seems gloomy. It appears that the remainder of life here has gone out, even stars. However, now that all the other planets have vanished, here is our greatest chance. That is unfortunately true. All other planets have disappeared. Your race chose to name this the Great Erasure. What happened back on Earth? Societal collapse. Earth became a breeding ground for dread, outrage, and war. Many people escaped to ships to venture into the great unknown. Do you have a name? I don't recall. It was a pretty one though, I know that much. I'm done talking. Suit yourself. You exit the lift with the axe in hand. I left the axe before. Don't trick me. You find yourself in a vast square chamber with a large window reaching across the rear wall. I've been told to come here and kill you. Not the finest thing to say when trying to keep something a secret. That kind of adds up. I don't think I've seen you before aboard the ship until now. Plus, I have a disease that will end up killing the rest of our race, so it adds up for sure. And saying that, you have no weapon. I said I had an axe before though. So, give it your best shot. Kill her. Ignoring her sudden boost of confidence, you go right for her, ignoring any sense of risk, and certainly not thinking things through. You go in for a punch, but she ducks out of the way with surprising quickness. Are you really going for the kill without a weapon? Her punches knock you to the ground. I'm out of here, with or without your assistance. She stomps on you, repeatedly. You're in horrible pain. Your visions darken as you die. Bravo on an absolutely horrible performance. Remember, wait, haven't I been here before? I seriously doubt it. You could have had a bad dream about deja vu. Aside from that, I can't help you. I already know this. What? How? I'm not sure what you mean. This is the first time we've ever spoken. I can't wait to get killed by her again. If you follow my advice, it will not be the case. Wait, again? What on earth are you talking about? You know what's going on here, don't you? I truly have no idea what you're talking about. Let's just get a move on, shall we? This is a loop, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is. But not because of me. As the ship is infected by her unintentionally. Aside from being lethal to living organisms, the disease has a peculiar quantum property. And in this circumstance, it latched onto a cryopod. This created some kind of glitch in the ship's chronal systems. When either of us does something, such as you killing her or her killing you, the ship's systems rewind time back to the point where humanity is safe again. So, why'd you want me to kill her? I've tried for so many years to fix this. So many. I'm sorry it had to be you, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you. She's been attempting to reach out. Regardless, you need to correct us, break the cycle. I believe the only way to break this is for you both to die at the same time, so that the systems cannot restart and protect either of you. I'm ready. You enter. Do we really need to do this? The lift is straight ahead. You should know by now. You enter the lift. The axe on the small table is gone. I don't think you'll need something like that right now. I'm pretty sure I do. She owned me when I didn't have a weapon. After a few seconds standing on the lift, it begins to ascend. The typical rattle and shriek starts before arriving at the cryo chamber. Leave the elevator. You enter the cryo chamber. The woman is not there. It's the same as it has been every time you have entered. By the huge glass pane, she stands. Okay, now this is different.
I know you're here.
Her voice is gentle and calming. Previously, it's always been scared and nervous.
I'm not going to hurt you, despite everything that's happened. Could you please join me at the glass window?
Okay. Walk up to the glass. You walk over to the glass pane.
We stand here at the edge of the universe. No stars, just this endless void. It feels soothing in a way that's hard to explain. It's as if we've traveled so far that even the stars have faded away. We ventured to the very edge, seeking a new home. But it feels like we've arrived at nowhere.
Music's kind of loud.
So desperate to survive, to ensure our race endures. I get the PA system relentless message now. I really do.
And yet,
I want to live.
you will kill the rest of humanity.
The disease inside me, it wants to live too. You've seen it in other timelines, other choices. Yes, I'm aware of the loop. The PA system broadcasts across the whole ship.
So she's been hearing me talk to it all this time.
I still want to be there, at our new home. I long to leave this cold, damp ship, even if it's just for a day.
I can arrange that. We'll shoot you into space.
Why? Because, as you can see from how I look, I don't have much time left. This will all reset soon, and I'm dreading it. I don't want to experience the pain again, the suffering alone. I'm the last one with a disease, feeling isolated and shut out. And I hoped that by looking out at the stars, I'd find some comfort, some glimmer of hope. I wanted to see the stars that might light the way, to believe that things might not always be so dark and torturous. I don't know. Maybe the loop should continue, because at least then we avoid a premature end. We'd remain at the edge forever. But that means everyone aboard the ship would never truly live. They'd miss out on hope, laughter, tears, and love. I'm lost. I don't know what the right choice is.
We should enjoy it while we can. Dance together.
After all these years, you ask to dance with me, the one who has been killing you? I can't dance, but I can try.
You both grasp each other's hands while dancing gently. I look scary. It's a slow rhythm at first, but you both get the feel of it quite quickly. As you dance, you notice her body slowly breaking, with shards penetrating your arms as you gradually become weaker. You both smile at each other, dismissing past mistakes and opting to simply love the present. The present. You begin to feel lighter as you dance, watching as her body slowly dissolves away. But this time, it feels final. The shards in your body begin to disintegrate before they have the opportunity to erupt. In her last moments, she sits close to you.
Thank you for this. Maybe one day we might see each other again. One day.
She looks at you one last time before she vanishes. You collapse to the floor. You pass for the final time across the edge. Thank you for everything. Humanity will be able to witness another sunrise. Sometimes, not knowing how things will end up is part of the struggle. Accepting the uncertainty may be necessary in order to discover a way ahead. Rest easy. Thank you for playing. That I will. Let's take the axe. You pick up the axe, a useful tool, capable of accomplishing tasks that most others cannot. The lift suddenly jolts higher for a few seconds before thudding, signaling its termination. Killer without word. You sprint straight for her, not pausing for thinking or doubt. As the axe tightens in your grip, the closer you get to her. Her icy and confident demeanor is evaporated, replaced by a terrified glance as you approach, towering above her. Before she could respond, the axe sank deeply into her shoulder, causing her to scream in pain. She collapses on the floor, the axe still lodged deep in her shoulder. Why? What have I done to you? I simply wanted to live. Is this too much to ask for? You know, I'm going to see you again. This is not the end. And, with that final phrase, the light fades from her eyes, and the crystal embedded in her flesh follows. So, what happens now? So, I presume you go back to your cabin. I didn't figure you make it this far. It is a shock to my electromagnetic system. Is humanity saved now? No, you're trapped in a time loop. You're certainly saved. You performed an excellent job. Head back to your cabin. As you begin to return to your cabin, you get an intense rush of pain in your stomach. You look down and notice shards of crystal, similar to those in her, that have attached themselves to you. As you try to move, you hear your body crackle and snap, and your hands gradually disintegrate into pieces. Before you know it, you fall. You try to move, where your vision fades and you die. I've been told to come here and kill you. And that's the finest thing to say when trying to keep something a secret. That kind of adds up. I mean, you do have an axe in your hand, and I don't recall seeing you aboard the ship until now. Furthermore, I have an illness that'll kill the rest of your race, so it definitely adds up. Give her your best shot, Color. You go for a slash. However, before it connects, she snatches the handle. Your grasp and her grip make it difficult to hold the axe. You sense a power struggle starting. Did you truly believe I'd be unprepared for something as easy as a run-up? Works last time. We've done this so many times that it's become dull. She snatches the axe right out of your grasp without hesitation, taking a minute to adjust, before slamming the axe down and into your neck as you suddenly slump to the ground. What made you think you should be able to decide whether I live or die? You pass out and choke on your own blood. I'm here to help you. What do you mean you're here to help her? Ah, I see. You must be part of the ship's emergency help crew. So, if you're here to help, could you please cut the cables off my arm? She appears to be trapped in a massive tangle of wires that will be tough to free without some sort of equipment. An instrument that may also kill her. Cut her arm? You chopped her arm with the axe. Blood shoots everywhere as she screams in agony. Now, free of the wire, she tries to approach you, but it's too late. She's losing blood quicker than she can react. Her knees smash to the cold metal floor and her torso follows quickly behind. Her eyes are fixed on you as she speaks her final words. Do you believe this is it? You're quite mistaken. We'll see each other again shortly. And with that, her eyes close. She's dead. Are you sure she's dead? Are you really saying she's alive after you hacked off her arm with an axe? Yes, she is deceased. So what now? You return. You have completed the task assigned to you. Well done. Thank you, system. Get back to your cabin. You leave the massive cryopod room and return to the lift. However, just before the lift begins to move and descend, you hear a small but incredibly quick pitter-patter outside the lift. Ignoring this, the lift begins to drop back into the hallway. The lift continues to rumble for quite some time before coming to a stop. Okay, this is certainly unusual. The lift has never stopped before. Not in all my years aboard the ship. What have you done? You hear the pitter-patter again, closer and louder than before. The light in the lift turns off. Nice music. When the lights come back on, it's revealed a crystallized necrotic hand with sharp fingers and ice-cold flesh that resembled a corpse. Before you have a chance to move or protect yourself, the palm of the hand opens up and a tentacle attaches itself to you, pulling you towards it. You struggle toward the left side before hearing a garbled and difficult to understand voice from the hand coming to swallow you. I told you, and it wasn't the end. Before you can react, the hand crawls into the lift, which is barely stabilizing, owing to the enormous weight within. You both hear a snap as the lift begins to descend, gently at first, but rapidly. The hand approaches you and is now directly over your body. The lift's traction mechanism emits a loud squeaking sound before exploding and becoming black. The lift murdered you and the palm together. A brief and painless death. Untangle the wires. You yank the cables from her arm. As you do so, She slips away into a dark corner of the cryo chamber. So, you really saved me. I am surprised. Even though I had a sense you released me with the axe, a shudder rushed through my body as I realized there might be another reason why you came up here. Either way, let us leave this place. Leave together? You leave together. You both enter the lift, which immediately starts and takes you down. I honestly didn't believe I'd live. So many people on the outside despised me because of my sickness, which is natural. But I just want to know, why did you have that axe with you? Before you can say anything, the lift produces a small thud and dings to indicate that it's coming to a stop. The hallway you were in previously feels much smaller now. You both walk slowly and methodically down the hallway. As you move a few steps deeper in, you are greeted by a tentacle, the red eye dangling from the ceiling. It looks at you for a time before disease has been detected and seen. Defense measures are beginning. I apologize. As you turn around, you hear a loud sound and creak. Spikes from the floor emerge and stab both of your feet. Next came your legs, then your arms, and finally your chest. Huh. So this is what you planned. I should have known. This isn't what I wanted to happen. So, if it wasn't you who requested this, who else is awake on this ship? The PA system did this. Ah, the public address system. I assumed it went offline when I was brought on board. Maybe not, huh? I thought it went through the whole ship. Don't blame me for your mistake of bringing her here. Try to break out. You struggle in the spikes. As you do so, the spikes push further and begin to target both of your necks. Well, that didn't lock. So, if we move, we die. And if we don't move, we also die. Great. If I had to choose, I'd rather not wait for my death. She struggles in the spikes, and you hear a loud creaking sound. Damn. For you watch, the spikes penetrate her skull. A few moments after that, you, too, hear a loud creak before your vision goes dark, and you die. If you only listened to me, this would have been a lot easier. Leave her. Are you serious about leaving them? With the entire human race on the line? Alright, you leave her. What are you doing? Hey, I'm not going through this again. As you move away, you hear sounds akin to creaking glass and contorting. Turning around, you see her struggling against her arm from the cords besides the pod. As she pulls harder, more of her body fractures and falls apart. Walk away. You head for the lift. She yells even louder, almost in rage, and pulls against herself in a far more forceful way than previously. Before you enter, you hear footsteps behind you, speeding up. Turning around, you notice her pounce on you. Before you get struck and tumble while she lays next to you. She starts another pounce as you prepare to swing your axe. You swing as the axe cuts her eye. Ah, how could you? You watch as she tramples around, attempting to extract the axe from her eye. She creeps to the corner of the room, then collapses on the floor. She said nothing else. You enter the lift as it descends into the hallway. It was an unusual silence as you descended. Not even the hum of the lift could conceal what had just occurred. You exit the hallway and enter your cabin. Get some rest. You decide to rest and ignore the banging and yelling from upstairs. It goes on all night never stopping, over and again, until nothing. Absolutely nothing. All you can hear is the ship's atmosphere and the occasional drop of water from the tap. After a few minutes, you can hear quiet hammering all around you. The ceiling above you rattles, creaks, and bends. It comes crashing down, leaving dust and debris everywhere. After a little moment, you hear a voice in the shadows. There you are. I knew I'd get out and find you eventually. The darkness moves closer, and... whoa. You see her. Her anatomy, however, is unique. Enormous crystal protrusions fall from her eyes, acting as legs to keep her upright. You've been taken over by the crystals. She gets closer. You go for your axe, but it gets stuck in debris as you hear a rapid gust of wind and stinging pain in your right arm. It's gone. Your right hand is gone. You feel it again, this time on your left. Your left hand is gone. Ooh, look at that. You seem to be missing a few things. Haha. Let's add one more to that. You hear a blast of wind a second after her final words, before the ache in your neck sets in. Your head falls to the ground in the opposite direction of your body. Your vision slowly fades to black as you die. Help her. You walk up to her, her eyes focused on yours. Before taking another step, her body breaks. Her torso falls towards you as you catch it. As she lands in your arms, she glances up at you. I imagine you forget how this works in each loop, huh? I've given up hope that this can all be fixed. She grins at you, a feeble smile, but nevertheless, a smile. Her body falls apart. That was... Her body falls apart, slipping out of your arms and into the floor. Her shards work their way into your skin. You collapse as your vision goes black. Keep watching. You decide to continue watching. Bits and bits of her body are gradually breaking off and falling to the ground. Screaming and grunting as she keeps pulling against the wires. As she panics, she notices you watching. Are you really just going to watch me? Watch me crack? I hope my fight for my life satisfies you. I'm sure the rest of our kind will be so glad and happy that a rotten curse like mine, has finally been eradicated from the face of... Before she continue her sentence, her torso snaps in half and falls to the floor with a loud and heavy thud. Her face was cold and soulless against the floor. Shatter her face? Damn. You slam your axe into her head, dividing it in half. You get a sensation in your body as her face gradually fades. Looking down, thousands of fragments from her body pierce your flesh. As you slump to the floor, your body begins to weaken and your vision darkens. You die. I'm here to help you. What do you mean you're here to help her? Ah, I see. You must be part of the ship's emergency help crew. In addition, she appears to be stuck in a huge tangle of wires that would be difficult to get out of without some kind of tool. Untangle the wires by hand. You rip the wires from her hand. As you do so, she slips away into a dark corner of the cryo chamber. So, you actually saved me. Before you can say anything, The lift produces a small thud and dings to indicate that it's coming to a stop. The hallway you were in previously feels much larger now. You move quickly and across the hallway, hurrying to the other side. As you move a few steps deeper in. I'm sorry. You're a slash, followed by a spurt of blood, and your vision goes black. I'm sorry, but I can't trust you, especially with that PA system documenting your every action. I have to live. As you die, your hearing gradually decreases. As a major letdown. Kill her without a word. You run straight for her, not taking a moment of thought or nor hesitation. Her sleek, confident demeanor has vanished, and she's now smiling. As you approach closer, you notice her running towards you as well. Your right arm begins to alter shape, eventually becoming a scythe. You try to slow down, but it's no use. You slip and lose your footing, square into her scythe, which slices you in the stomach. She laughs uncontrollably. Why do you always obey the idiotic PA system tells you? How can you not remember what happens when we kill each other? So, if this is what you want, I'll finish it. You begin to feel numb. This appears to be the end. Your vision goes dark as you die. Leave her? Are you serious about leaving them? With the entire human race on the line? Alright. You leave her. What are you doing? Hey. As you move away, you hear sounds akin to cracking glass and contorting. Turning around, you see her struggling against her arm from the cords beside the pod. As she pulls harder, more of her body fractures and falls apart. Walk away. Help her. You walk up to her, her eyes focused on yours. You hear a creaking sound emanating from her that persists for an uncomfortable period of time. Before her arms extend far out and grasp you by the neck. Your entire body is hoisted into the air. You are going to kill me. I just know it. Why would you aid me in the PA system, which did not want me on board, is assisting you with every move? I've had to tell you this several times. Her grip on your neck tightens. I am done talking to you. The grasp she has on you causes you to gag and choke. Her expression shifts from one of rage to disdain. I'm done watching you scramble for your life. She snaps your neck. Your vision goes black, then you die. Keep watching? You decide to continue watching. As she panics, she notices you watching. Unless you give up, trying to break this loop. You're not even doing anything. Just watch me break, I suppose. I can feel it. I'm about to break. Her torso snaps in half, landing on the floor with a loud and heavy thud. Her face, cold and emotionless. Pick up her head. You lift her head by the hair. So, you do have a heart, given your recent actions. I doubted you did. Before you can react, her eyes close and her face cracks, melting and dropping to the floor. Well, it's too late now. Looking down, thousands of fragments from her body pierce your flesh. As you slump to the floor, your body begins to weaken and your vision darkens. You die. Walk away. You head for the lift. She cries even louder, almost in wrath, and pulls against herself with even more power than before. Before you enter, you hear footsteps behind you gaining speed. Turning around, you see her pounce at you before you get hit and tumble as she lays close to you. She looks over to the lift, and then back at you. Before running over to collect the axe you left. She walks back out, axe in hand, Now then, your move. She runs straight for you. Her gaze is fixed as she prepares to strike. You need to run, now. Run. You run. As you move forward, you see a little vent in the corner of the chamber. Fortunately, the vent wasn't properly blocked, as you could easily remove the grill from its screws. You slide inside. It's cramped, warm and damp, with little breathing room. What'll suffice? Your life is on the line. Do you think a vent will stop me from following you? I already know how this one goes. You make significant progress, crawling as fast as you can. Her screams behind you fade as you move, leaving just a hum of the ventilation inside the vent. You stop moving. The only sound around you comes from the vans further in. The trouble, however, was that it led nowhere. Before you hear a creak from behind you, you turn around and peer down the vent from whence you came. Jeez. Her face appears first, followed by a slender, twisted, and distorted neck. As I predicted. That's scary. Her neck creeps closer, and you perceive slender and malformed arms pushing around the bend, pulling the tube. That's horrifying. You freeze, frozen on the spot. You're not getting away anymore. I'm so tired of this game of cat and mouse. Her entire body lies in the vent alongside you, mangled and twisted beyond recognition. Her arms reach out for you, pointy, long nails, pointing right at your eyes. That is horrifying. You hear a burst, and your vision goes black. Before you can react to the discomfort, you feel an ache in your chest as you drop to the floor. Your heart has just exploded inside of you. You die shortly afterwards. Thank you, everyone. That has been The Edge of Forever, a Slay the Princess style horror game, which was made by a solo developer, I believe, or a very small team, which they did a really good job in making. So, thoughts on the game? I don't think the time loop was needed all too much, because none of the characters really have any major comments in being a time loop, besides having to kill each other at the same time. I feel like the story could have just been a normal linear timeline. There's no explanation as why the MC can't remember, whereas the PA system and the carrier can. However, if they want to keep the time loop, a small idea which I have is, instead of the carrier having a single purple crystal form, it would have been cool to see her change colors depending on actions, which would give a more of a variety in the death scenes. It would have been cool to see her change into like ruby, diamond, and gold, or like another yellow one. Because so far the time loop doesn't really change all too much. Other than that, some small tweaks with the dialogue, which if I took the axe or not. When I first didn't take it, it ended up saying that I did. Slight error, but I believe the variable still said I didn't take it, which didn't really affect the game, but yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. And later.